Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Eren Gönen, Senior Director of Product Management at Lumen Technologies. And with me, I have my colleague, Kevin Lamont, our Director of Technology Architecture. Kevin, in the last session, we talked about our Lumen NaaS portfolio. Can you give us a recap of it?
Yeah, Aaron, happy to do so, and glad to be back as well. So with NaaS, it all starts with the port. And we have two different types of port. We have the dedicated NaaS port, which is just a physical handoff to our customers. And then we also have a data center port. So if you're on net in a data center where we're connected to the fabric, you can actually use the data center fabric to connect directly to our Lumen services for NaaS. The first service we have is the public offering, Internet on Demand. And with Internet on Demand, you pay as you use it. So if you need 1 gig today, you can turn up 1 gig, and within 5 minutes, that 1 gig is provisioned. And then in addition to that, you could spin that up to 2 gigs or 3 gigs as you need it, or even dial it down. Layered on top of that, we have an integrated cybersecurity suite. We have DDoS Essentials to help protect you from DDoS attacks, and Lumen Defender that block internet threats. From our private connectivity offerings, we have Ethernet on Demand. And with Ethernet on Demand, you can connect to cloud service providers, or you can connect point to point, creating LAN connections between two different locations. And then lastly, we have IPVPN on Demand. With IPVPN on Demand, you could take your existing Lumen IPVPN service and connect to cloud service providers. Or if you need to move workloads between cloud service providers, you can connect between two cloud service providers and move workloads. So Aaron, what are some of the things we're hearing back from our customers?
Yeah, sure. Let me tell you about a couple of examples on how our customers are using the NaaS offering. One example is a customer who is operating a contact center for their business, and they were using connectivity services from another service provider. Now, the problem was they were experiencing outages with that service, and that was interrupting their business. Therefore, the customer reached out to us and checked if we can offer them connectivity, and they were expecting us to give them a plan and a timeline on when we would be able to turn up a connection for them. Well, the great thing is we were able to turn up the connection on that same day, and it took us less than 30 minutes to turn up that connection, simply because NaaS offers this instant activations of services. So within that 30 minutes, the customer was up and running, and they were able to continue serving their customers through that contact center.
I'm planning on taking a cruise sometime soon anyway, so if you could do me a favor and make sure the cruise lines stay up and running, that would be great. But on top of that, this really sounds like it would be a great solution for backup or redundancy or survival.
Yes, indeed, Kevin. Thanks for bringing it up. Now, think of it this way. If an enterprise customer is running a mission-critical application or service in that location, they'd better make sure that they have a backup plan in case their primary service provider, experiences an outage. So we recommend our customers to purchase Internet on Demand as a backup service in those situations. And we are offering that at a low cost, at a low bandwidth and low cost that is ready to go if they need to switch to this connection. And they can easily adjust the bandwidth to the maximum value that they need to use and start using that right away. All the IP addresses, all the VLANs, and all that will be ready to will be established since it's 24/7 active on that backup connection. Now, for this particular customer, we didn't become their backup. We also became their primary connection since they like the fact that this is much more flexible than their existing service provider.
That's awesome. It seems to me that NaaS would also be good for venues and events.
That's a great point. Thanks for bringing it up. We have a number of customers in venues, and their primary challenge is that they have very different events from day to day, and those different events have different network requirements, and they're using NaaS in order to optimize their network services to the event that they're hosting on a given day.
Yeah, and it seems like NaaS would be great in the fact that if there isn't an event going on at that time, they don't have to have any bandwidth spun up. Therefore, they're not paying for the internet bandwidth for that event.
Exactly. It's just giving them cost efficiencies as they don't have to pay for something they're not using.
Yeah, and it seems like some customers or some events may need 1 gig of bandwidth for internet. Some may need 5, some may need 10. So it really depends on the event, what they need.
Correct. We have seen some scenarios where, they may even be idle for a few days, and then they may be hosting a concert with 1,000 attendees on the next day. Hey, Kevin, speaking of events, the other day I heard about this other major sports event where NaaS came into play. We didn't even have time to put slides together on that, but can you go ahead and tell us about that engagement?
So, Aaron, that's a great one, and it happened just last week. So, our customer had internet service with us and another provider, and that other provider's internet went down during this event, which was televised, and so it was critical that they had this connectivity. We were able to turn up a circuit, give them another circuit, give them the bandwidth they needed, and at the same time, they were able to do BGP multipath over that circuit, and the event went off without a hitch.
Kevin, thank you for sharing this great story. I'm glad we were able to help out that customer. Now, I also heard that we're making moves on data centers, and I heard there are some great customer stories from there. Can you please tell us one?
Sure, would love to, Aaron. One of the stories I really like is that we had a customer that was moving into a data center, and they had ordered internet service from another provider, and when they were ready to turn up their service and everything was installed for them, that circuit from the other provider wasn't ready yet. And so we'd been talking to them about NaaS, and they came back to us and said, hey, what about NaaS? And we were actually able to turn up their service within 15 minutes because we were on net with that data center. And just using that fabric of that data center is very quick and very easy to do.
So all these great, stories, Kevin, if a customer wants to go ahead and start procuring our NaaS services, or if they want to find out more about NaaS, how do they get started? How do they find out? Where do they go?
For easy access to sign up and create an account for Network as a Service to order and provision on-demand services, go to lumen.com, select the Solutions tab from the top navigation bar, then Use Case, then Network as a Service. From the Network as a Service page, select Sign Up Free to start the process to create your account. Or you can also go directly to the sign up page at signin.lumen.com/signup/NaaS.
Thank you, Kevin. That was very helpful.
Yeah, and thank you, Aaron, and thank you to everybody for joining us today. For more information, visit lumen.com or call your sales rep.